Welcome to the Second Brain Notion template tutorial, a template built around the principles laid out by Tiago Forte in his book, Building a Second Brain. One of the biggest takeaways from the book is that the single most powerful thing you can do in your life is to write things down. Let's face it, humans are bad at remembering things. We get bombarded with information every day, and trying to keep it all in our heads is a recipe for disaster. That's why it's better to always write things down and offload that mental clutter to a trusted system. Most people overcomplicate their note-taking or knowledge management because they don't have a framework for where things should go. They end up with a million different notes on their phones, in physical notebooks, and scattered across various apps. And what happens? Those notes get lost into a black hole, never to be seen again. You forget to act on them, and the cycle of disorganization continues. But it doesn't have to be that way. That's where a trusted system, like the Second Brain Notion template, comes in, solving those problems and minimizing the amount of time you spend making decisions every day. Forte says that everything in your life should be organized into 4 different sections, which he refers to as the para method. Areas are ongoing responsibilities and interests in your life. Think of them as the areas of your life that require continuous attention, like health, work, relationships, or personal growth. They don't have a clear end date, and they represent the big picture commitments you've made. Next are projects. Unlike areas, projects are specific outcomes you're working towards. They have a start date and an end date, and they require multiple tasks to be completed. For example, launching a new website, completing a course, or planning a vacation all fall under projects. And then we have resources. This is where you store useful information and references that don't necessarily belong to a specific project. It's your knowledge hub, everything you might need to refer back to in the future. It could include documents, YouTube videos, articles, research, notes, and more. Finally, there's archives. This is where you store completed or inactive items that you may want to revisit later. Once a project is finished or an area of focus shifts, you move those items here. The archives keeps your active workspace clutter-free, but still gives you access to past work when you need it. By organizing your information into these 4 simple categories, areas, projects, resources, and archives, you can create a second brain that not only stores your knowledge but also helps you take meaningful action. While the core of this template is rooted in the para methodology, it is so much more than just a place to capture information. This template is designed to help you manage everything you need to get done in your daily life. Not only does it help you organize and store your knowledge, but it also includes powerful tools such as task and project management, habit trackers, meal and fitness planners, and more, so that this template truly acts as your digital second brain. First, let's get started with the homepage. The homepage is kept very clean, ensuring that only the most important things appear, minimizing distractions and helping you stay focused on what needs to get done. At the top, we have a quick overview of the different areas of your life. Here you can instantly see how many tasks, projects, and goals are tied to each area. This gives you a clear snapshot of where your attention is needed most. Next, we move on to everything that's due today, including tasks, projects, and events. Overdue tasks are highlighted in red so that they stand out, prompting you to address them right away, or if needed, reschedule them for a different date. Each task displays its priority level and energy requirement. By default, tasks are sorted by priority, but if you're someone who prefers to tackle the most energy-intensive tasks first, you can easily switch the sorting order by clicking the sort button. This flexibility allows you to approach your day in a way that works best for you. Once you complete a task, click on the Done checkbox and it will be removed from the list for a clean workspace. I've also included a habit tracking here, as setting up habits is one of the most powerful actions you can take to transform your life for the better, and tracking them daily helps you stay consistent and aware of your progress. We have a dedicated page for habit tracking, but I've included a daily tracker here for easy access. If you'd prefer not to see it here, you can simply delete this view. Next up, we have all the tasks and projects that are due this week. They are first sorted by date and then by priority level. If you want to check what's coming up in the next 7 days instead, just click the filter button and switch from this week to next week. Below that, you'll find the weekly calendar. This is where you can visualize all your tasks, projects, and events for the week. It helps you ensure your commitments are well-spaced and prevents overcrowded days. You can move items around simply by clicking and dragging them. If you have tasks that haven't been assigned a date yet, you can easily add them to the calendar. Just click and drag the task to an open slot on the day that works best for you. On the left-hand side, you'll find the notification center. Think of this as your personal assistant. It ensures you stay on top of your tasks and projects for the day and reminds you of any meetings or appointments you have scheduled. This feature is especially useful because when you open the Notion app on your phone, the notification center is the first thing you'll see. It gives you a quick snapshot of your day, so you don't have to sift through your entire template to stay informed. Next, we have the quick capture buttons. These are designed to help you quickly add new information directly into the correct database. For example, if you need to add a new task, just click the New Task button and fill out all the relevant details. If you're short on time, no worries, you can simply enter the title and leave the rest blank. The task will be sent to the inbox page where you can complete the details when you have more time. Moving on, we have the navigation pages. These are the core pages that make up your second brain, and we'll dive into each of them in detail shortly. In addition to the core pages, I've also included several extras that are just an extra bonus for managing various aspects of your life. Let's begin with the inbox page. This is where all of your unprocessed ideas, projects, tasks, resources, and notes land first. You can use the quick capture buttons at the front page to quickly add items so that you don't forget them without needing to fill out all the details right away. So for instance, if a new project idea comes to mind, you can click on the New Project button and leave the rest empty. Then, whenever you have time, you can come back to the inbox page and complete the missing information. This allows you to always capture what you have on your mind without getting too distracted, as you know that it will be found in the inbox page. You should aim to have your inbox empty by the end of each day or each week, so that all of your information is properly organized. So let's go back and see the new project that we just created. For a project to be removed from the inbox page, it needs to be linked to an area, and the status needs to be changed from inbox to planned. So you click on this little edit button and you add the area. And you change it to planned. You can also open the page and fill out all the details this way. Since tasks aren't necessarily related to a project, but are always related to an area, to remove them from the inbox page, you need to link them to an area and add a priority level. You don't even need to add the date because there are some tasks that just won't have a specific date assigned to them, and they will be found in the undated tasks view later on. Notes are always linked to areas, and while they can also be associated with projects and tasks, it's not required. To clear them from the inbox, simply link the notes to an area and select a topic. And for resources, it's the same thing. You simply need to ensure that you link them to an area, select the type, and change the status from inbox to review. Now let's move on to areas. They represent the base of your Notion template, as any project, goal, task, note, or reference must be connected to one of the areas of your life. When you open any of the area pages, you can see that it is populated with its own projects, tasks, goals, resources, and notes. To add a new area, click on the plus new button. The same template will automatically be applied and will get populated as you add stuff to it. If ever an area is no longer relevant, click on the archive button and it will be moved to the archive view. Next, we move on to the task management page, where you will find all of your active tasks. You can view tasks by upcoming, high priority, high energy, overdue, undated, next action, and someday maybe. The undated next action tasks are tasks that you want to complete soon, but simply haven't assigned them a date yet. And the someday maybe are things that you might want to do in the future, but aren't sure yet, so you want to keep track of them in case you decide to do them one day. This list should be reviewed on a regular basis to determine if you're still interested in doing those tasks or if you want to eliminate them from the list. To add a new task, click on plus new and fill out all the properties. The upcoming tasks view is sorted chronologically so that you can see the most recent ones first, but you can also decide to view only your high priority tasks or the high energy ones if you prefer. The undated next action and someday maybe tasks are shown by their priority level, so that when you have a bit of time, you can easily go through the high priority ones first and then move on to the medium priority and so on. Now we move on to the weekly and monthly task calendars. As I said before, you can easily move tasks around from one day to another, and you can also see all the undated tasks here, which you can click on and move on to the calendar as well. Also, you can drag items from the someday maybe and undated next action views directly to the calendar. For each task, we can see the area it belongs to, the priority, the project if it has a project, and the goal if it's related to a goal. Once you complete a task, you just click on the checkbox and it's removed from the calendar. You can also create recurring tasks by clicking on the blue arrow. For instance, I have 2 recurring tasks at the moment, and these can occur at whatever time interval you choose. All you have to do is create a new template, so let's say pay taxes. For the due date, you choose today, which will input the day when it is duplicated, and we can leave these empty. Now we go back to the template and click on the 3 dots and select the repeat button. Select the frequency, which in this case is monthly, then choose the start date. For example, if you want the task to start on the 1st of every month, select the 1st of the upcoming month. This ensures that the task will appear on the 1st of each following month. You can also use the filter button to filter for anything. Say you want to quickly see how many tasks you have for a specific project. Choose a project and we can see that there is just one task related to it. Then click on X to remove the filter. Moving on to projects, this page contains all of your projects and you can use the different views to switch between in progress, overdue, by status, and done. In the progress view, you can see which area it relates to, how many tasks you've completed, the due date, the days left till the due date, and your current progress. When you open a project page, you can see all of the tasks that are related to it, their calendar view, its resources, and any notes that you've added. The status view is useful because you can see which stage each project is in, and you can also move a project from one stage to another as its status changes. Once this is moved to a planned, the status is automatically changed to planned. Then you can enter a start date and an end date. The timeline view displays all of your projects on a timeline, helping you see your project schedule clearly, making it easier to plan, coordinate, and track your progress, as well as helping you avoid overloading your schedule by showing you how many projects you have at once. You can also change the start dates and the end dates of each project by clicking here to change the end date, and on the left-hand side to change the start date. Moving on to the goals page, these are all the goals that you would like to achieve in any areas of your life. Make sure you choose SMART goals, goals which are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, so that you have a higher chance of achieving them. You can switch between active goals, goals by status, and completed goals. In the active view, you can see which area it belongs to, the progress, the due date, the number of days until it's due, and the quarter in which you'd like to complete it in. When you open the page, you can also see all the actionable steps that you can take to reach that goal. So for example, we can add a new actionable step, and you can either choose to add a due date or leave it empty. You can create as many actionable steps as you think you need to be able to achieve that goal, and you can also decide to do this on a weekly basis. The progress bar is updated as you update the actual number, so in this case, your target was to lose 5 pounds, which is the target property. And every time you lose a pound, you can update the actual number and see how the progress bar changes. At the end of the time period, check this box if you've reached your goal and change the status to done. You can also see your goals by year and by quarter and filter to change the year. If you want to see all the years at the same time, select all the years and subgroup them by year. And as you can see, now you have the 2024 goals first and then the 2025 goals next. We continue with resources. These are all the topics that are of interest to you and that fit into one of your areas. They can also be useful for projects or goals. You can switch between to review, reviewing, and archive views. To review are those that you haven't been able to get to yet, and once you start reviewing them, you can change their status to reviewing, and it will be moved to reviewing page. And the same goes for archives. Once you are done with a resource, but you want to keep it for later reference, you can just archive it, and it will be found in the archives folder. All of the resources are grouped by category so that you can easily clean up your workspace. And you can also search for a resource directly by clicking on the loop. To add a new resource, click on Plus New and fill out all the properties. The category should reflect your personal topics of interest. To add a new category, write it out and click on Create. Then you choose the type. You can enter the link and author if you wish, and select the right status. Another way of adding a resource is by using an extension called Save to Notion, which allows you to import anything from the web and save it directly to one of the databases. Click on Add to Chrome, then make sure to pin it so that it always appears here. So let's say I'm working on my daughter's second year photo album and I found a website that I liked as inspiration. I can click on the Save to Notion button to save it into one of my databases. When you first start using the Save to Notion, you need to create a new form, which is similar to a template of how all of your resources will be saved. Select the page or database where you want to save them, so I will use resources. And then you can choose which properties you would like to show every time you want to add a resource. So we can choose goals, tasks, areas, projects, and status, as I think these are the most important ones. The other properties can be completed later on, and click on Save. Now to save this page, click on the form we just created and fill out the properties that you want. Since this is related to a project, we will link it to its project. And since I've already reviewed it, we can set the status to reviewing. Add the area and click on Save Page. Now when we go back to the Notion template, go to the Projects page, select the second year photo album project, and the resource will be found here. We can open it and we can add the category, the type. So for this one, I'm going to leave the author empty because I don't think it's important. And we close. We can also link resources to goals or tasks. So let's say we have a workout that we always like to do. Once again, we can click on Save to Notion and fill out all the important properties. Now, when we go back to the template, we go to the goals page and click on Lose 5 pounds, and we can find the resource here. Click on it to open the page, and we can change the title and fill out the rest of the properties. Going back to the resource page, at the bottom we can see them grouped by topic, by area, and by favorites. If you frequently consume resources by the same author, you can add a new view where they are grouped by author. All you need to do is to duplicate this view by clicking on the right-hand corner of your keypad and click on Duplicate. Change the title to by author and change the icon. Then change the grouping to by author, and you can choose to either sort it manually or alphabetically. So now, if we were to have many resources from Ali Abdal, for example, they would all be found here. Next up is the Notes page. This is where you can store and organize all your quick notes, ideas, and in-depth research, making them easily searchable and accessible whenever you need them. While it's technically part of the resources page, I've separated it so that the resources can be seen as a single item, like a link or document, while a note can include information from multiple sources, like different websites or documents all in one page. First, we start with the recent notes. These are all the notes that were created no more than a month ago. Then we have favorites, all notes and archives that you are done with but you would like to keep for future reference. If there are any notes that you no longer need, click on the 6 dots and select Delete. Then we have the notes grouped by topic for easy searchability. You can also search for a note by clicking on the loop and searching a term. Now to create a new note, we can click on the plus new button . Next, we can go to the web and start importing information using the Save to Notion web extension. So, for example, we come to this page and we start reading through it. Then, when we find something that's interesting, we highlight it, click on the right-hand corner and add highlight, and add it to the page that we just created. And click on Save to Notion. Then, we can continue going through the page and adding all the information that we want. I can also go to another page and add more notes. You can also take a screenshot of anything on the page and embed it into your notes. As you can see, now that we're back on our Notion page, we have all the notes that we highlighted for later use. And to add the screenshot, type /embed and upload the file. So this is a very easy and effective research and note-taking method. Also, if we would like to add this note to our project, we can click here and choose the project. And if we would like to add it to a task, we can do the same thing. Since we are creating a new task, we need to click on the plus new at the bottom. Then open the task and fill out all the properties. It's very important to link my stats to daily updates so that it can show up in the notifications center. And now when we go back to the project page, we can find the note here. And in the home page, you will find the newly created task here and here. When you open the task page, you will find the note inside of it. Moving on to events, this is the page where you track and manage all of your important meetings, appointments, social events, trips, fitness classes, and more, displayed in a calendar format. It allows you to see your schedule at a glance, helping you visualize your commitments over days, weeks, or months. In the first view, you can see all of your events, then only meetings, appointments, social events, and trips. To add a new event, you click on plus new. Since it's a meeting, we're going to select the meeting template. The type is then automatically added, so now you just have to add the location if you want and the time. As you can see, a new template meeting was added to the page. This is something that you can change by clicking on the blue arrow, then on the 3 dots next to meeting, edit, and then you can customize your meeting template. We have the same thing for appointments, whose template you can also customize. And in the trips template, it comes with a pre-made packing list, which you can also customize. Come to the settings and add all the items that you usually pack and assign them a category. So for example, a hat. Then, when you create a new trip, you will find your pre-made packing list and you can start checking items off, and they will be removed from the list, ensuring that you don't forget anything. Also, if there are items in here that you don't need for that particular trip, then you can just check them off as well. And if you would like to add new items just for that trip, add them to their category and it won't be added to the actual template. And that wraps up the core pages of the Second Brain template. I've also included additional pages designed to help you organize your days more effectively, though they aren't essential. If any of these extra pages don't interest you, you can easily delete them by clicking on the 6 dots and selecting Delete. I won't go into too much detail on these, as each page comes with its own tutorial and covering them all would make this video too long. First, there's a reading tracker where you can track all of the books you've read, save highlights of your favorite quotes, keep a list of the books you want to read, and view a summary of your reading statistics. Next, we have a podcast tracker that offers similar features. Then there's a meal planner, which lets you plan your weekly meals and automatically generates a grocery list for you. Following that, the fitness planner allows you to schedule and track your workouts, including the type and the duration. And on the left-hand side, you can see your workout statistics displayed, including a donut graph that shows your most frequent workout types. For those interested in journaling, there's a dedicated page for that. The wishlist page is handy for tracking items you want to buy later. Add them here, and when you're ready, you can review the list and make your purchases. Finally, there's an information page where you can store all the crucial details you want to access anytime, anywhere. This might include birthdays, mile numbers, IDs, home maintenance information, or any other details that are relevant to you. And that's it for this tutorial. I'll also include an extra video in the template showing you how to add the quick capture page as a widget on your phone, making it even easier to collect information on the go, as well as how to sync your Notion calendar with Google Calendar. I hope the Second Brain template helps you simplify your life, stay more organized, and achieve even more.